First opened back in 1975. There's a look inside the iconic Mercedes-Benz Superdome in downtown New Orleans. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. Fielded about a yard deep. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. They'll run. This is Darrell Henderson. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. 3rd play here, this opening drive, as they're up against a 3rd and 5.
No. To the car.
From the gun, here's Watson. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, New Orleans. Juju Smith-Schuster, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here we go. Run.
Now a first carry from Melvin Gordon. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 27, Wentz, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they're going to get the football outside the 10.
All the receivers in their patterns, is going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
Henderson now on 1st and 10. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
following the pickup of 4. Here's 2nd and 6.
Hey, 31! Hey,
2nd down, it's Henderson. And a little bit of space there. Takes it inside the 5 to the 3. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now, look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run.
pull it together. Hey, Mike, 51. I hope you brought your lunch because I'm about to take you to school.
Henderson will try to run for the 1st. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. Darrell Henderson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make the score 14-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Wentz got Gordon open, completes it. He's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
16 yards. First down, Vikings.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Here we go, D. Hey, it's just me and you. It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Deuce. Check it backer. Watch twist.
Gordon. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Alex Anzalone in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. Working from the gun, Wentz. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Montez Sweat able to record his 5th sack of the season.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
Good blocking there. Nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10.
56. You can't block me. You can't block me.
Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
Set. 18. 56. Kill, kill, kill. Right.
On the carry is Henderson. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave them with still about 8 or 9 to go on third down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And what a return as he brings this all the way back down to the 20-yard line. It had been a near-perfect beginning to this football game. Already a double-digit lead first quarter, but their first misstep.
And you know how it is, partner. Sometimes when everything's going right, you start to feel like you can do just about anything you want on the field. This one didn't work out. If I were him, I'd go to my defensive captain and say, pick me up, my man. Help me out.
Here's Gordon. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Check 15, check 15. Kill, kill, kill. Back.
They go play action here on first down. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Big O.J. Howard, his intended target. But it'll be second and goal.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. Call it no gain that time, and now it's third and goal. The crowd here in the Dome making things difficult. Third and goal.
Go. Check three. Switch it. Come on, switch it. 6 guys. Down the man inside, down the man. Check. Fresno. Pick the edge. Go.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter as they'll see what they can do on third and goal. The crowd here in the Dome making things difficult. Third and goal.
Come on, boy. You better be ready. Kill. Slam.
From the gun, it's Wentz. He rifles one that's intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. The 20. 10. 5. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick 6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick 6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, brother.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively. Nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called a desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
I'm bringing it to you.
On play action, it's Wentz. And this is caught by Watkins. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it. Sunday. Get wide. Hey, stand. Check 31. Check 31.
Now they run from the gun with Gordon. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Lefty. Forward, Tokyo.
From the 38, Wentz. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Really nice pick there for the reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And a good story on that. He said he didn't even know he won the award. His buddy had to call him. He saw it on television and said, hey, congratulations. How about that?
And I'll bet you his buddy said, well, since you didn't know, I'll just go ahead and claim the award, right? And everything that goes along with it. But the reason he won the award the previous week and what we just saw there, instincts. Understanding where the play is going and being able to make a play on the football.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They run the toss with Henderson. Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects him.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is, because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence. They'll think something was just wrong with the ball or the wind or something was funny. It's never about them. That's how they stay so into the moment and into the game.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's the one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So line of scrimmage still at 39 on 2nd and 10. Here's Wentz to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Montez Sweat in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left, roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
Yeah, current formula is not working right now. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well. Wentz now 5 out of 10, 50% throwing it. Not so hot, but he does have a first down. Now Wentz. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Max Crosby able to record his 5th sack of the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. A beautiful fake. Able to get this to Gordon. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to 3rd down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
To throw, it's Wentz. Got an open man, that's Campbell. Oh, he's got a little daylight. Touchdown, Vikings. Paris Campbell, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field, and that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
And he'll be out of bounds just 3 yards shy of the end zone.
Let's go.
Sets up a 1st down and goal at the 3-yard line.
Breaking the huddle, 1st and goal as the return team has set him up with golden field position. They'll look to run with Henderson. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Darrell Henderson with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Point after, right down the middle. And that will make this a 19-point game. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That one 28 yards on the ground.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait to enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. Now on 2nd and 13. Wentz. That's caught by Howard. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 27-yard line.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skill.
And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. He finds Robinson. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. The Vikings on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Shotgun now for Wentz. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Alex Anzalone, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Now Brett Maher for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 53. The kick by Maher is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
The Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. He's at the 50, the 30, past the 20. And it will not be a return touchdown, as close as he could possibly get. He's finally stopped at the 1.
And, partner, not only is he kicking himself right now, he's going to petition the league for 99-yard fields. That's almost not fair to get it that far and not get into the end zone. Nevertheless, a great return.
The best starting field position you could possibly have. 1st and goal from the 1.
Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Watch the ship. Showing it.
They'll try and punch it in. Gordon. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Melvin Gordon. His 6th touchdown of the season as they are able to cut into that lead. And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. To throw is Wentz. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10.
Well, they tried to get 2 and ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Again, it's Henderson. And an alley to run. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards there, first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On first down, Watson. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage. Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. 39 yards there, a big one. Even from up here in the booth, the play-by-play guy could tell that there was some pretty good blocking on the right side of the line.
Well, you have good eyes, and it's almost like a ballet when it's executed that well. Everyone in the right spot, everyone in sync, everyone hitting the perfect notes. A little more percussion and a lot more bass, I would think, than you get your normal ballet.
And he'll score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Deshaun Watson with his 19th touchdown, his second of the game. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. From one end zone to the other, 101 yards. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. It's been a back-and-forth game, a lot of points on the board, and that return right there kind of indicative of how this thing's gone.
Well, you've seen both teams go at it, and as you just pointed out, both of them have found the end zone. But just like in boxing, you know the blow that hurts the most? The one you didn't see coming, and that often is the case when it comes in special teams.
And a good effort on the return there gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line.
The Saints take over first and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. The third quarter has not been kind to them. After they built that lead at intermission, they've seen that lead shrink.
And how much of that is simply execution? How much of that is maybe you lose your edge a little bit because you've got a lead? And you do have to credit the other team some because they've made some adjustments to start to slow them down. Can they find those counters now, those extra plays or plays they haven't run that'll be effective and get them back moving again?
They'll be looking for something here, anything to seize that momentum back.
Check 56. You better be afraid of me.
They run once more with Henderson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down. This offense has had a lot to like in this game. I don't know that last play, though, is going to make the highlight reel.
It's not going to make the highlight reel, but it will be the focus of the film session that the team has to sit through. I've sat through those before. Never any fun. You're always excited about your good plays, and they actually fast forward through those. All right, that was good. All right, great. They get to the bad ones and really illuminate them. Not cool.
To throw is Watson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Gary and Conley. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown.
Hey, man. Don't throw this
Third down, passing down. They throw the extra defensive back in there for a nickel package, and it worked out.
And it's not anything that you would think is just great strategy. It's just that when you have 5 defensive backs on the field and an obvious passing down, it's a lot tougher to complete a pass. And on that play, they completed it just to the wrong team, and it cost them 6 points.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. Fielded about a yard deep. Then he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Fresh off the pick 6, it's Watson. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. The safety, Keanu Neal, there to knock that one free.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
You're set. 19. He's sick at the mic. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Watson on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. After the incomplete pass, here now is second and 10.
Get that ball. Get that ball.
Out of the gun, they give to Henderson. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Watch the run. Watch the run. 31. 54.
Throwing on third down, Watson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. I'm guessing you wouldn't have minded being a fly on the wall at halftime because they were struggling in that first half. Down double digits. Now they're right back in this thing. So whatever was said apparently worked.
And let's make sure, if we're going to be a fly on the wall, that we're high up on the wall because I know I always talk about it being clinical at the half, you know, less emotion, more execution. But every now and then, this is an emotional game.
Sure.
Someone's got to come in and stir some things up, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a few benches got overturned and the halftime water ended up hitting the floor.
Well, whatever happened, it's working right now. A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Marlon Humphrey with the tackle defensively.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. On second and 9, Wentz. Open man is Howard, the tight end. The reception good for 7. It's third down. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Check. Crouch. Crouch. Crouch.
Now a 10th carry for Melvin Gordon. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling.
3rd and 2, right? So this is a situation where low man has got to win at the line of scrimmage, but it's not just the low man winning. It's the low man who's winning with some force, and they had that to pick up the first down.
And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Michael Kendricks able to record his 5th sack of the season. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Throwing on 2nd and long. Wentz. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And this is picked up by the Saints. The big man, get the oxygen tank ready. And he's into the end zone. A fumble return and a Saint touchdown. This was a close game. They needed a little breathing room. Boy, they got it right there on that return for a touchdown.
Yeah, we would say that this could be huge. Forget it. It was huge. Gave them a comfortable lead.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them, the coaches from all the way up here. They were adamant, you've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because turnovers, they've been a big problem for them. Got to take care of the football. Got to hold on to it.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. 2nd and 10 now from the 27. Wentz going to throw. Catch made here by Campbell. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Wentz now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Throwing now is Wentz. Sets up the screen to Gordon. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on 1st down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Again, they'll throw with Wentz. This is caught by Robinson. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Hey, pick your game up. Shift. Lean 5-3.
Now Wentz again. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And down to the 16-yard line. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well. Wentz going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive.
Check.
This is Gordon. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. Howard has the first down and then some. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. O.J. Howard, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away.
The Saints take over.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
At their own 25-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a 1-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs.
And that's caught inside the 35. A big-time play there for New Orleans. 75 yards. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up.
Here we go. 51 the mic, boy. 51. Silver, Silver. Go, Mike.
They'll run here with Henderson, and he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
Oh, Brandon, I'm going to tell you, this is football time to me. They're inside the 10-yard line. That's like drawing the line in the sand. Who's going to make the stand here? Defensive guys, they know if he gets in the end zone, this ball game is over.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football.
Yeah,
what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, it's got him in the lead. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you...
It's caught inside the 25. A big play there for Minnesota. 58 yards. From the red zone now, Wentz. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Check 13. Check 13.
Back to throw. Wentz. That's complete. It's Gordon. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll be 3rd down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Wentz to throw. And this is caught down for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, you get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30.
The Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a 1st down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
After that run, still a good amount of meat on the bone here for this 3rd down play. Can you envision them putting this in the air?
Totally. I mean, look at who he has under center right now. If you can't trust him with the football, you can't trust anyone. And frankly, to me, I want the ball down the stretch. Get the 1st down, keep it in the hands of my offense. I don't want to turn it over to them and rely on my D.
And an alley to run. Deshaun Watson, so multi-dimensional, able to scramble for the 1st. So there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the 4th quarter, picking up the 1st.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time. And that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st down, Henderson. And a tackle there by Quan Alexander. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
On 3rd down, here's Henderson. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive.